All right.
And we're live.
Boom.
We are live.
Hey everybody.
Coming at you. I'm Graham.
Grashkahmn.
And we're live.
We're live. We're living. We are alive today.
Fun fact, I don't actually have coffee in this mug yet.
Oh.
So,
You didn't have to actually tell them that.
at some point
Could've
early
just
on.
run with it.
I took a sip, I took a pretend sip though. Did you notice? Did you catch that? Interesting.
You
Say in
got
the
him
comments,
fooled.
yeah.
You got him fooled.
So I'll get a coffee delivery at some point, and this will be very exciting. And I expect you all to cheer from the comfort of your homes. We have a guest that'll be joining us today. Two guests that'll be joining us today, and one of their names is Kim.
And the other one is Ashkan.
That's right, second Ashkan.
Yeah.
Ashkan Hannan.
Grahkim Hannans.
If they read the title of this, they already know that's not true. I called it a gram on gram extravaganza. Oh boy, that's not muted. So let's give him a ring, huh?
Okay. Call him in.
A little ring a ding ding.
Here we go. Here we go.
Hello, this is Kim.
Hey Kim, how's it going? It's Ashkan and Graham.
Yeah. Hello, Graham. How are you guys?
Excellent. Yeah.
Excellent.
You have Graham with you there?
No, we actually reopened the center today, and so he
okay.
is man in the fort.
Or?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Let him scream his way off camera there.
Yeah.
You reopened the center today.
Yes, today
Wow.
is day one.
That is
Okay.
exciting news.
This is the first conversation we've had with anybody who's reopened.
Yes, Graham's gonna be so bummed because that's an amazing picture of him. Oh, it's hilarious. I love it. Yes. Nice signature toboggan there.
Well, so that's
Yes.
that's pretty wild.
So tell us all about it.
Yeah, what's going on? First of all, just like how busy, like, were people?
Oh, we didn't introduce you again.
Oh,
Can
yeah,
you?
yeah. Pretend like you're not here for a moment.
Yeah. Let us do another introduction.
Yeah. Kim and Grahkim Hannans are some lovely people in the float industry. They run a float center down in southern Indiana. You're on the Indiana side, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
great. Just near Kentucky. And Kim's also a board member on the float conference board, and just a super fun person.
And one of the hosts of Art of the Float podcast.
One of the hosts of Art of the Float podcast.
Kim has been
She's
been
gonna be
making the rounds.
president one day. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to do stuff, you know? I've never been called lazy, so I'm sure you guys can relate.
Yeah. No, it's not like we sit around in our bathrobes all day just chatting with people.
Well, you know, it's not like I'm sitting around in my bathrobe right now either.
Send in Grams to do the dirty work. Classic.
That's my strategy too.
So, coffee delivery. That's exciting. So what? That said, so that's your official exciting introduction now. What? So you opened. What is that looking like? Are you like only running a partial capacity? Like,
Yeah, we have so many.
is it? Yeah, is this stuff insane? Was the decision to open hard? Like, tell us. Yes, like tell us everything. Give us the gossip.
Yeah, it's been wild. You know, Indiana has had definitely some issues. Kentucky is right across the bridge from us. They're going much more conservative, but Indiana started their phased opening approach last week, and we fell into the phase that allowed us to open today. And you know, we've got a couple of restrictions, but there isn't a lot. And of course, float centers don't like fit neatly into any category, as everybody who is, you know, in the reopening world is starting to see. There's kind of like, you know, pick your own adventure.
Right.
So we went back and forth about whether or not to even open. We wanted to be socially responsible, but you know, after being closed for almost 2 months, and we closed a few days before the mandate. So we were closed almost 60 days, and it was time. You know, it was just time, and we had tons of people who were asking us to reopen. So we sent out an email just to our member list, and within 90 minutes, we had 40 appointments booked.
Wow.
So folks were definitely eager to come back in.
So that's
and
just
our
members.
schedule is pretty full for the next week already.
And
So,
have you done anything other than tell members?
but we did. We finally sent an email to our entire mailing list the next day or two after that. And then I did one really light post on social media. Haven't shouted it from the rooftops yet, but I did one light post with that, and then I went live amazingly at 11 o'clock at night, Saturday night, and I was shocked at how many night owls joined us. I had over 30 people watching, and just kind of walk them through the center, what we were doing differently, talk a little bit about the schedule changes and things like that. So, you had asked earlier about what we're doing for the schedule, and we did lighten everything up. We have traditionally, we run 75-minute floats in a 2-hour block. So that gives us plenty of time to get people in and out. But we also have the Salt Cave running concurrent sessions, and those are 45-minute sessions in a 1-hour block. And they're kind of staggered so that all of the floats would start on the even hours. Salt Cave session started every hour on a half hour. But whenever that happens, sometimes we would have people who would, kind of come out of the cave and come out of the floats at the same time. And, we don't have a huge center. We have a small, quaint, lovely little lounge, but it was enough that we knew we couldn't have that many people coming out at once. So we changed our float schedules to be 3-hour blocks and the Salt Cave 2-hour blocks. So that gives us a little extra time to run a couple of additional processes. We're doing UV lights and ozone in the rooms between sessions, and doing a full change of everything that's in there. Instead of just trying to clean it, we're doing the full change out and then sanitizing, back to house. But so our schedule is much lighter, but it's really cool because we're not rushed at all. And I just checked in with Graham a little bit ago, and he said that it's been really nice for him, just kind of having this leisurely pace throughout the day.
We've been discussing the same thing, kind of the structure and having that extra time buffer and stuff. And I'm curious what it'll then feel like to go back. It's a hustle at our shop. It's definitely, there's no breathing room to it normally when we do our turnovers. So it'll be an interesting experiment, and I'm sure it'll be much nicer to just actually have that kind of chance for things to not be so chaotic.
Exactly. Yeah. And, we run lean. Typically, it's just one of us there during the day. On Saturdays and occasionally on Sundays, just depending on our schedule, we'll have a second helper in the, working back of the house. But it's usually one person, and, cleaning 3 suites, keeping the ready rooms, talking to people, cleaning the Salt Cave, getting folks in and out. It's a lot. So we're thinking that this might be just a nice, long-term change. Until we're fully packed again, and people are just having to wait for sessions, or we're losing folks. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna go down to just 1 float a day, and then just 23.
And that's gonna be one of us. So
it's gonna be nice and casual. It's gonna be great.
Keep it really, really chill. So it's kind of weird though to be reopened again after being closed for so long.
Sure.
We shifted a lot of our business online. We have a small retail selection and shifted everything and made a little online store, and that honestly kept us afloat. We had several $1,000s in retail sales, so that helped us to pay the bills while we were closed.
That's cool.
But that was a full-time job.
For sure, and that did sound really cool. I actually took that the post that you had shared. I think you mentioned that on the Float Collective, and I copied it over to our Helm logbook for our staff to see as we've been pulling them back on board. And I was just like, hey, if anyone feels like championing this, this is a great way to help the community and get a little extra money to kind of help the shop too. So that definitely inspired us on this end too. That was a really cool program.
Very cool. I'm glad. It's hard whenever your business is closed and people are at home and can't get out to get what they need. And so just, something as simple as a bath bomb or some Epsom salt, it made their day. So
yeah, there's a dispensary, a cannabis dispensary behind our shop that I've been known to on occasion frequent. And when I went in there, and one of the guys is just like, He's like, well, we're closed. We've been closed for 2 or 3 weeks. He's like, hey, you guys have Epsom salt? Like, I was like, yeah, we have a lot of Epsom salt. He was like, can I buy some off of you? I'm like, only if you want 50 pounds. He's like, yeah, that sounds great. And I walked back over to the shop, came back over to the dispensary, gave him a 50-pound bag of Epsom salt. I was like, that's a really funny sale. But yeah, so that's actually, I think we've sold about 4 or 5 50-pound bags of Epsom salt, and that's the only retail that we've sold this entire time. But yeah, people, he just said all of his housemates take Epsom salt baths, and it's like a precious commodity over there. He's like, I'm going to be the king. He like swings it over his shoulder.
That's awesome. I love it.
Wow. So is it just you and Graham who are working? Well, it feels weird to say another Graham's name like that. Is it just you and Graham who are working the shop right now, or are you going to be bringing back staff to work?
Yeah, we had 2 part-timers, and we paid everybody through the closure because they really only work like 6 to 8 hours a week. So that's pretty minimal, and honestly, that helps us with our PPP.
Sure.
But we are bringing them back, and they've both been in to help us, during the reopening and scrubbing and deep cleaning to get everybody ready. So.
And what else in your city is open? Is it just like
Float centers, or
we're the only ones allowed. Yeah, that's why we have food now, and we're starting some alcohol sales, and like we're everything. Well, we retail started reopening last week. With reduced capacity. Of course, all of our restaurants have been doing side, but as of, I believe it's this week, today as well, they're allowed to reopen for some dine-in options with, limited seating. So things are just slowly starting to come back. Entertainment places, of course, are still closed. Gyms are still closed and probably will be, I think it's at least another 2 weeks or so. But it's interesting because our governor, almost everywhere is doing these phased reopening approaches, but most of them are not really saying when the dates are, but we have like exact dates for everything. So I don't know. I think he has a magic 8-ball that tells him the future. We know exactly what date it's going to be safe to have. Instead of 75 people, you can suddenly have 100,
Yeah, coronavirus gets pretty busy starting around June. It's got other places to go and things on its books, so makes sense.
Oh man, yeah, and ours is the exact opposite. Like of all the states, our governor has probably been the most reticent to put exact dates on things in general over this timeline.
Yeah, Oregon seems like it's rolling out like criteria rather than dates. Like for counties to start applying to reopen, they have to have certain like testing capacity, like their hospitals have to have a certain amount of extra capacity. They have to have like certain testing procedures in place. So yeah, it seems that, and then that also is going to happen in phases.
Yeah, we have some of that. We have some testing sites that are required and increased number of tests and things, and states met all of that. What's really interesting is there's a hospital that had closed several years ago that was just kind of on the side of the interstate. Everybody knew about it, and when this whole thing started, there was this local movement to create a COVID-19 center there just to treat people, and so they actually got everything in line and everything's up and running at that old hospital, and it was ready and completely unnecessary for us.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm glad. That means
it probably still did move.
It's
probably still there to see it. Yeah, that's nuts. And how have your customers, like, what do you think the reaction's been as people come in? Like, are people very conscious of trying to keep a distance and sit in certain places to have minimal contact and not get too close to you guys? Or I guess what's the kind of vibe?
Can we call Graham and just have him put one of your customers on the phone?
Yeah, speakerphone.
Yeah, so far, our response has been really great. We've asked people to wear masks. We're not enforcing it, an iron fist. That's just not our style. But we have asked them to do it, and our team is wearing masks. We're trying to distance ourselves as much as we possibly can. And I would say that from what he said this morning, about half the folks who've been in today have been wearing masks. Everybody's staying their distance though, and we've switched to a video orientation because, in a small float room, it's hard to stay 6 to 10 feet away from somebody, especially if you're trying to show them how where to push buttons and all of that kind of stuff. So, we have a video orientation that they can watch in our lounge where there's enough space to spread out and then go into the room. But so far, everybody who's been in has just been so grateful that we've reopened and that they were able to get in. We did a kind of an informal little poll on Facebook about a week to 10 days ago just to see how people were feeling. And it was almost 50-50 split between people who were ready to get out and go just to their favorite places versus the people who were going to sit it out at home a little bit longer. And then, of course, we have the two outliers of folks who said that they're probably never going out again, and then folks who just wanted to get back to normal immediately. But that kind of prepared us for what to expect opening. It did about half and half. And so that's what we're seeing right now is good, steady traffic.
Okay. I like that idea of like feeling it out and just like actually asking your customers.
Yeah, at the very least, it gives the illusion that you're like making important decisions behind the scene, which is great on our side. Yeah. Any kind of illusion of professionalism that we can maintain, we just gotta grab it.
Those are big bonuses for us.
I mean, we're all about transparency and talking to people, and I've told them, like, this stinks. Like, we don't like a video orientation right now. It doesn't feel right, but this is what we're going to do to keep you safe. And, we put it all out there. I don't really hide much from them. So, I have no problem with that.
Same thing. Yeah, we were thinking about a video orientation for sure. How are you doing that? Do you have it like mounted on a wall, or I assume you don't want to like hand like iPads to people to share? Are you doing that, disinfecting them?
Yeah, we didn't want to add more stuff to clean through all of this.
Yeah.
So we have a TV cart with a kind of 42-inch TV, I think, that we take sometimes to trade shows and things. So we run videos and photos and all that. So we already had that. We're like, well, we've got a corner in the lounge. We pulled our tea service away and we add the video cart or the TV cart out. And that way people can stand anywhere they want to and be able to watch it, or they can have a seat if they like. So,
nice.
Yeah.
All I'm picturing is the TV carts from my days in like elementary school with like a giant CRT television on like an old AV cart. For some reason I can't update that image in my mind.
Yeah, and then Graham can't get it to work, so he has to like call the fourth grader from the other class who comes and does all the plugs for them. Yeah.
And then everybody like cheers really loud. And they're like, yes, movie day!
Oh man, I had another question for you, but then I got distracted by movie day and I can't remember what it was.
So we gotta go.
Yeah, sorry, we have very important things to do here. Yeah, I'm like fiddling with my robe. I'm like, man, movie day sounds pretty nice. Where's our TV cart? I remember. Do you have furniture in there? Like, are people sitting down, or are you just having people stand, or like, what's
it's
your?
Just an empty lot.
Yeah, what are you doing for that side of things? Because that's something I was wondering about when we get going. Like, should we just have standing?
Getting rid of our furniture?
Only. Well, yeah.
Well, we were trying to figure it out because we didn't want it to encourage people to lounge around, but you have to walk through our lounge to get to the float room, and having a big empty room would just be really awkward because we don't have any furniture. So we left everything out. We did pull, one of the chairs, and we took away the tea service. But I think it'll be fine. We're running ozone between sessions, and even in the common areas, we've got the UV lights and things. So I'm feeling okay with that. So far today, no one has stuck around. They've all been really great. They have their float, have a little chit chat on the way out the door, but folks aren't lingering right now. So.
Cool. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, just like we'd be worried about that. They're probably like, I'm not sure I want to like sit down here and stick around,
Right.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, we have like big cushy chairs and stuff like that. Just like, disinfecting them sounds really hard between people. But yeah, UV light ozone, those are definitely good ideas. Yeah. I guess having now, like, you're in your first day, so maybe we'll have to have you on in like another.
Yeah, we have a lot of intense questions for you. Haven't been doing this for like 3 hours.
Yeah, right. Well, there you are a couple hours ahead, so yeah, maybe. I'm sure just spent so much time thinking about this now and getting up to this point where you're reopening, and there's hundreds of other float centers that are about to go through very similar things or are right now going through it. Any just tips or anything that you found especially useful or things to do first as people are approaching the idea of reopening?
Yeah, I walked through the center one day and just looked at all of the places that people would reach. Every single touch point from the front door, all the way through what the experience is like, getting into the tank, coming back out. And that really helped me to kind of put on that, the view of what do I really need to watch for? Because of course what we're touching and what we're looking for is very different than our customers. And so all of our guests are coming through and they're touching, light switches and faucets and soap dispensers and all of those sorts of things. So as much as possible, we automated. We switched out the light switches in our ready room and our restroom, so they're now motion detected, which we already have in our float rooms. We put a little, it's called a step and pull, that you use your foot to open the front door. We installed that. We switched out our soap dispensers to automatic and the motion sensor for the faucet. Just as many places as we could to kind of, even if it's only to ease their concerns and that perception piece, but it also helps to ease ours too. And it's also really cool to walk in a room, the lights just flip on. So, yeah, but that was a big piece. And, we shared about that on social media, and then we also included in our email that announced that we were reopening so that people could see that. We have a page on our website that, details all of those things too. And overwhelmingly, people are just like, thank you so much for doing all of that. Thank you so much for looking out for us. So anywhere you can, just to offer some reassurance to folks that you're taking it seriously, and that you're providing what you can, they'll eat it up,
Yeah, no, that all makes a lot of sense. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about installing a hands-free sink, for example. I think that's a really good pro tip there. So with your staff side of things, are you going to be doing just one person at a time in the shop, especially for a little bit, or are you fine staffing 2 people and you're still going to maybe have someone working front of house and back of house?
Yeah, on our weekend busier days, and we'll still have our back of house helper. And he's a 17-year-old kid. He pretty much just hangs out in the kitchen whenever he's not cleaning anyway, and he loves to clean. So he'll clean like crazy and then go hide until the next turn. So it's easy for us.
Yeah, that's great.
Like a little cave for him though that he goes into.
Awesome.
We gotta go with this.
Otherwise, it's quiet. We're in a small town, and that helps. We're busy for being in a small town, but I think our schedule changes and just everything that we've implemented. I feel really confident actually reopening, and a lot of the nerves I had, we've gone through so many things, and I feel really good about it, and it seems like our clientele does too.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome to hear that you've had such a positive response just in such a short period too, for people just supporting you and wanting to get into float.
Yeah, because it's such a weird balance too, because there are some people who are, angry that everything is reopening. There are people who are angry that it's taking so long for things to reopen, and so finding that middle ground.
Have you gotten any very negative reactions from people? From customers?
We haven't, thankfully. I have seen some other small businesses in town who've, have been attacked, and one was a case where a yoga studio had sent out an email that just said, planning to reopen. It wasn't even announcing a date, and they're actually holding out longer than they have to, but somebody misread that and tried to start a whole campaign, pitchforks out, ready to attack that they were opening the yoga studio before they were supposed to. And so I've been really aware of that public perception piece.
Yeah.
And we've thankfully been, so far, knock on wood, nobody has had anything negative to say at all.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah, it's certainly one of the things on our side, as we're getting close to considering when reopening is going to happen. And, again, Oregon is just a whole different world out here. But yeah, the public perception is something that we've been, really, really curious about. Again,
it's kind of interesting for us. I mean, it's interesting when the policies that certain areas are making are happening on very different ends of the spectrum of what maybe the general public thinks is appropriate. There's places that are opening earlier than people think are appropriate. We might be in a side where Oregon opens much later than a bunch of other places. So I'm curious if even at the point that we're allowed to reopen, there will be what sort of sentiments will exist, or I don't know. It's just who knows. I think we're still at least a month away from even starting to consider it, is the last thing I read. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that shifts and how that changes from place to place.
Yeah, and even just to see the long-term effect, I anticipated that there's definitely pent-up demand, and so I knew that, as soon as we reopened, there would be folks who were jumping on the schedule immediately. I don't know if that's going to last. A lot of folks will start going back to work, so we had several people who were like, please hurry up and open, I've got to go back to work in 2 weeks. So there's some of that, but I'm curious just to see like the overall behavior change, and are people going to stick with it? Are they, we're a health and wellness place. Like, does that mean that people are going to take this more seriously and really try to care for themselves a little bit more? Or is there still going to be that fear and folks are just staying home as much as they can?
Yeah, certainly that plus, just general economic concerns kind of make things, very up in the air in terms of
super
what's
confusing.
going
Yeah, it's all very confusing and difficult.
It is.
Oh man. Well, cool. I guess I always like asking people too, just kind of moving away from the serious business. Yeah, it's great that you're being a guinea pig for the entire industry and doing a huge service for all of us, and that you're open and servicing your community. But what have you been doing for fun?
There we go. Sorry. For fun, well, the kids are home.
So it's pretty much been a giant fun suck from them. Yeah, I assume it's been hard to have a good time.
Yeah, all the time. No, we, some Zoom happy hours with friends, and that's been really fun. We've had a couple of those that have turned into like all-nighters and just late nights, just hanging out and having fun, which I love. Some people that we don't get to see a lot anyway, so that part's been, kind of the silver lining of this. But we've had the kids home, and our daughter is 11. She's doing really well with this whole thing. She's been just amazing. She's super independent anyway. Our 5-year-old has had moments. He doesn't understand why he can't go outside and play with his friends, or why we can't just go somewhere and have fun, especially if the whole family's been together, and that's a rarity. But we've set up the slip and slide in the backyard, and had pool days, and done some gardening. I'll admit that I've been supervising, not actually participating in that. But we have a garden that's basically dedicated to our guinea pigs, because our daughter has 2 guinea pigs, and they go through a ton of vegetables. So we just started a garden and grow their own food.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and then, work and watching people in their bathrobes, and there's more to do.
Nice. Yeah, it's funny. At some point over the weekend, like, I was out in the yard gardening and like tilling up soil, and we ordered like 4 yards of soil, and I was like laying it out and putting plants in the ground. And Ashkan was inside hand rolling out dumpling dough and like making dumplings from scratch. And we were just like, man, this has gotten rustic. Like, we really, I don't know. It's I mentioned it last interview, but it just occurred to me then. It's been like this running theme, is a lot of just getting back to really simple things that make human beings happy. Like, it's kind of cool.
And I've never, it's not even returning. Like, I've never.
I meant like ancestrally returning, like
deeper into our roots.
In the Jungian kind of sense, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that'll stick around. Who knows?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, maybe we're planting some seeds.
We're gonna stop watering the garden as soon as this is over. Just let it all die out. We go to restaurants again?
Great, forget this. Yeah. Oh man. Well, any last words for the viewers out there? My computer actually died, so I can't see if we had any questions.
Not a lot of questions. Some hellos.
Nice.
From Susan and Tammy.
Yeah. Who else?
And Jordan.
Nice. Yeah. Any words for all those viewers out there, Kim? Before we let you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough place. It's a tough decision to make, to reopen, to stay closed, and I think we're all going to make different decisions, and I think we can still support each other through that. The worst thing we want to do is start the judgment zone of, you're opening too soon, or you're being paranoid, or whatever, and that whole cliche of we're in this together, like float centers are always super, super tight, but this is a time for us to really hang on to that and keep supporting each other, ask questions, help one another, and just be chill.
Yeah, no, it's very true. I mean, we've seen little hints of that on the Float Collective, but I feel like almost always on these big kind of emotional threads about opening and closing, there's these voices that come in and are like, hey, like this is people's own businesses, these are tough decisions. So yeah, I appreciate you reiterating that as well. Yeah, for us, we're just kind of milking this bathrobe thing for as long as we can. So I know we'll have to open one day, but yeah.
Put our work robes back on.
Put our work robes back on. Yeah. Personal protective robes. PPR. Awesome, Kim. Well, this has been a pleasure. Yeah, definitely say hi to the other Graham for me. Yeah, your main Graham, of course. I'm your secondary Graham. And if there's another Ashcon in your life, say hi to him as well.
Please do.
I will.
Give him my regards.
Yeah, we're going to meet for coffee after this.
Awesome, Kim. Well, good luck with everything. Yeah, we might actually even try to check in with you at some point, a week or two down the road, just to see how everything's gone after you settle into it. Yeah, if you don't mind chatting with us again, I know that's a big burden.
It's such a burden. But I will just find to myself. Fine.
Perfect. Well, thanks again, Kim, and yeah, have a good one over there.
You too. See you guys.
Bye.
Nice. Kim Hannan. I would say my main takeaway.
We've never done this before.
As our usual means of wrapping up. My key takeaway is that we should get a slip and slide and set that up in our backyard, because she said that, and that sounds really fun. I haven't slipped or slid in a long time.
That is a good takeaway. I was thinking we need to get another Kim in our life so that it can be weird for her when...
Like, I would be Kim?
Sure.
Because if I was Kim...
Then it would really just line up perfectly.
Yeah.
Or we could actually talk to her seriously about changing her name to Grashkahmn. Well, yeah, this is fun. That was actually... I didn't know that they were... Like, I knew they were planning on reopening, but I didn't know that they were reopening today, so that was just...
No, we planned this. This is...
Sorry, I meant that we are consummate
fresh
professionals.
material.
And this was brought to you as quickly as we could get
That's
it, right off the presses, or
That's how good we are.
right off the, what do you call it, like the equivalent of,
internet tubes. Alright, well,
another one down!
we'll see you on Thursday.
And that was Day Snake.
That was Snake Day, and who knows what's gonna happen from now on. Anything could happen.